Hey guys, today's Sunday, February the 19th. I'm trying to bang out as many videos as I can because I've been out of the loop for the last week. Been traveling. I was in Atlanta and New Orleans, NOLA, working on a project, and I'm glad to be back home. My nose is a little stuffy, but hopefully is bearable. At least you can understand what I'm saying. So without any further delay, I wanted to get into the dollar. So let's get into the chart. I got a few things. You know, I did my video on metals sector and energy sector. This is only just one instrument, the U.S. dollar. I figured I could show a little more charts and show you some other things, especially if you trade the dollar or inverse to other commodities or instruments. So this is the FIB grid chart. This is a technique or a style of one of the traders, managed mathematics. They call it. The name is David Starr. He called this. He created this indicator called FIB grid, and this is more like of a hack. It's not really actually his, but the concept and the theory is kind of there. His stuff is a little more, much better than this, but it just kind of shows you the FIB grids, basing it off the first impulse wave of the weekly, either from the top or the bottom. So what I did is I did it on both, on the dollar, on the top and on the bottom, that first impulse wave, and got these FIB grids. So you can see that here was support, even though it pierced it right here. It snapped right back up. So if the dollar's going to continue going up, that target of 105 is attainable. You can see that it kind of pierced it here upon resistance. It kind of, chops around it, but that's a possible target to the upside if it's going to continue in this trajectory going up. If it's going to push back, then, this would be support. And if it fails, then, obviously the next one would be that 99.30. So that's that one chart. Once I saw that we kind of pierced it and closed above it, I was like, all right, maybe the dollar's going to move up. And some say maybe this is a wave three, maybe a wave five. Either way, if this is a wave three, then this is a wave four. Maybe five is in the works right now. So that's one thing. Now, if this is a wave five, then this could also be an A, B, C. So just leave it there for you guys to decide what's the wave count. This is my squeeze play chart, and you can see that there hasn't been any squeezes yet, but something is getting positive here, and you can see it got a PPS buy signal. You got the 50 SMA up there, which could be a target, which kind of lines up with the FIB grid of 105, 31. The 50 SMA is at 105.27, so that's a potential target. And you can see that the dollar found support at the 20 SMA. I like to use moving averages, especially the standard ones, 20, 50, 100, 200. I always feel like there's always some kind of connection with these moving averages, so that's why I put them on there. And you can see that we closed above. This is the a daily chart. We closed above the 20 and above the 50. So we go. You got the 200 and the 100 SMA around the 106 area. So we'll see how that's going to play out. Let's go to our other chart. Right here, this is what I call my midpoint chart. And this is a very important level. That is 104.70. That's the 50% from the previous year. So if we could close above that, that's going to be bullish. Because chances are this is an important, if you've been following my channel, that's a trend line that's very important. We could close above that, or that could be a target if we could still continue pushing higher. But first target is 104, 105. That's the first target if we could get up there and stay above that level. Let's see. High 104.66. Yep. So it kissed it. It's somewhere around there. Now next week we have to close above it. And if we're going to test it from the top, and if it holds and it pushes higher, then you got to take out that pivot of 105, which is right there. And if we could take that out, then it has a strong possibility of testing that high. But you got to deal with that trend line. 1013, 1014 is one of my targets up there when it was peaking, and I thought it was going to turn, and that played out well. Looking at the monthly, you can see that 103 is another strong support. And if we could stay above there, 105 looks the same thing right there. On the weekly, yeah, we have a little more. 104, 105. Yep, pretty much is all the 105s up there. And then lastly, we could look at our simple glance. You can see, first off, on the monthly, we're already noticing a hockey stick. That means that it's stalling. And it's a, first indication that maybe there's a possible turning point from the big time frame when you get the hockey stick. I learned that from First Wave, David Elliott, may he rest in peace. And you can see that we found support at the 20, and you got this level right here, 102, and it found support there. I mean, it pierced it, but it's above it, so that's good. And value area high is like 104, so we could close above that. That's the key. We're going to have to test that trend line, but we'll take it one step at a time. On the weekly, you can see that now we have a PPS buy signal. The trend has been positive for last week and this week, and the color has changed. Strong level right here, 104. You can see this area right here, 104, especially 104.71. You got the 50, the 20, and you're in the cloud, so it's going to be a little choppy. But the MACD is positive, and you're, hovering around the point of control, or at least a little bit above it, which is that 103.92. So if we could just kind of push higher, the ultimate target will be somewhere around here in that little area. You don't want to get too greedy. That could be it. Then lock in profit. If you want to push, it may kiss that, it may not. Just got to remember that you can't get too greedy if it ever, starts getting somewhere around there. There's a trend line there. There's a value area high there. There's the linear regression channels right there. So that's where, if this is going to be an ABC and then go down, that's when you got to be cautious. But if this is not an ABC and this is a wave 4 right here, and it's a wave 5, it's going to thrust right through it and take out 114 and continue pushing higher, meaning there's going to be a lot of people piling on the dollar for whatever reason that is. And on the short term, you can see that you hit the linear regression channel low, and now you hit it on the top. So you got to be cautious buying here now. It's one of those things, everything is kind of related. Maybe wait for a pullback and let it break out. But either way, because it's going to be overextended, you need to, there's a lot of energy to get to here. So now if it pulls back and then pushes out again, that's going to, that looks like a better play, in my opinion, to get in somewhere around here in this area when it pulls back to maybe push even higher, if that's what's going to play out. I think that's it. You can see that the sentiment on the dollar on the daily is just kind of like flattened out here. It looks like now it wants to like turn higher and all that. And that's not even looking at the cycles or anything like that, just kind of just showing you the price action. So just keep that in mind. That's what's going on with the dollar. But so far the weekly is looking good. The daily is looking good. You're below the cloud, but you're, in the cloud here. But it's still strong. Just kind of chopping around and fluctuating on some, levels, like the point of control right here, 103, point of control on the daily, 104. This is a very important level. If we can stay above it, it's going to go higher. If we go below it, then chances are it's going to go lower.